Hello, welcome to Slow Looking Series with IMMA. My name is Joan and I'm a member of the Visitor Engagement team. The aim of this video is for you and I to take a long, slow look together at art. And today I have an intriguing piece to show you by Dublin artist Niamh McCann. It's called Tree. Now, I don't usually start by giving away the title, but today I make an exception because, let's face it, it's a very different sort of tree. Let's go have a look at it. We'll read it from right to left. There are 6 oars, which are made from wood and they are attached to the wall. The end of each oar, where the rower's hand would be, continues to become a bracket that attaches to the wall. This part is covered in a veneer of walnut burl. Let's have a closer look at it. You can see there are lovely marks from the wood grain. The colour is rich brown. Some of you may know what burl is, but it was a mystery to me, so I will explain. When a tree produces an abnormal growth, sort of like a tumour, it's usually close to the roots and often not discovered until the tree is cut down or falls over and is uprooted. Then the burl is exposed. The wood within the burl is contorted and it gives rise to unique patterning. When it's sanded and polished, it is very beautiful. So burl is sought after by sculptors, wood turners. There are even burl poachers. This burl is from a walnut tree. Let's look at the oars. You can see how they are straight, straight, straight. Then this one turns, and this, and this. So there is a flow of movement going on. Likewise, a tree will always have movement in its branches. On the last oar, there are hummingbirds. What a surprise is that? There are 4 tiny birds feeding from the oar. The artist has cast them in bronze and covered them in gold leaf. Do you see their long beaks? These birds are hummingbirds. They're given that name because the noise they make. Their wings flap so fast when they are flying that it makes a humming sound. As well as eating insects, these birds drink nectar from flowers, which is why they have a long beak to draw it out, like a straw. These birds are found in the Americas, North, South, Central America and the Caribbean. They are not found in trees native to Europe or the rest of the world. At the opposite end, at the first oar, there is a tube of neon light. What can that represent? Neon is artificial light caused by atoms of neon gases giving off energy inside the tube. Could it be a symbol for the sun? For light on the tree, light falling on the branches, light that enables the tree to survive? Now, I love this artwork because it is so puzzling. And when you come across it in the gallery, it is attached high up on the wall. And you must stand well back to look at it. You must regard it as you would a tree. There is light on it like a tree. It has a shadow. There are birds on it, and it is composed of wood like a tree. I'm sure you have ideas of your own when you see this piece. And remember, there are no right answers or wrong answers in art. But here's what I think when I see it. A tree somewhere was chopped down for its wood, and that wood was used to make 6 oars. The oars are now immortalized in an artwork for who knows how long. And so, the tree lives on in another form. I live in an old house built around 1900. The original floorboards are still in some of the rooms. Somebody told me once that the wood that was used for construction in Dublin houses in the late 1800s and early 1900s came from Russia. So that means that in 1800 there was a beautiful big tree growing in Russia that was chopped down, cut into planks, transported to Dublin and used for flooring in my house. It's quite amazing when you think of the journey of wood, the longevity of wood, and what it can withstand. Sanding, polishing, varnish, paint, stripped in acid, oiled, renewed again. The uses for wood are endless, and here Niamh McCann has constructed oars from wood. Think of all the fishing boats with wooden oars, from the large Viking ships to the kirks on the west of Ireland. McCann often features trees in her work, and like this piece, they can be puzzling and playful. But on a more serious note, she reminds us about production and consumption of the earth's precious resources. By looking at this piece, think about the magic of a tree growing from a tiny sapling planted in a forest, growing tentatively, producing leaves, maybe a flower, a fruit, a nut, seeds. It is a home for birds, insects, small creatures. It has a root system, a highly important job of holding soil and water, not to mention producing copious amounts of oxygen. It grows and grows and then is felled for its wood and ends up wherever. Here it is oars, but it could be your floor, your desk, your table and chairs, your pencil, your picture frame. Doesn't it make you think how wonderful these objects are, what a journey they've had, what they've felt and experienced? All wood was once a tree, living and breathing under the light of the sun. It experienced wind and rain, snow and frost, seasons, life growing within it and on it. And now it has another purpose. Maybe its final purpose, maybe not. I hope you have enjoyed looking at this piece with me today, and I look forward to meeting you again and looking at some more work from IMMA in the Slow Looking series. Have a great day.
Hello, and welcome to the Slow Looking series at the Irish Museum of Modern Art. My name is Ciara, and today we'll be looking at the artwork of Phil Collins, a British artist and Turner Prize nominee, who's best known for his work in photography and video. The title of this work is Young Serbs. And before we begin, I encourage you to close your eyes and take a deep breath before focusing on the screen. Let's start by looking at the work. There are 5 photographs in total. We will start by looking at all 5 images briefly. Notice how each photograph contains a person. Now, let's take a closer look at each person and focus on some of the detail within the images. Where do you think these people are? Take some time to focus on the person's expression and their gaze. What can you see? Imagine yourself inside one of the images. How do you feel? What is the temperature like? Is it quiet, or can you hear noise? This work is part of our Ghosts of the Recent Past exhibition. How do you feel about the way the artwork is hung within the space? Does the title of the exhibition make you consider this work in a different way? Do you see anything that you did not see before? How does this artwork make you feel? What do you think the artist was inspired by when making this work? These photographs are of young Serbs that Collins knew well, and were taken approximately 8 months after the Democratic Revolution of October 5th, 2000. At the time, there were mass demonstrations in Belgrade and other Serbian cities that overthrew the regime of the communist leader Slobodan Milosevic. Do you think this work relates to the current climate? Notice how each person's gaze looks as though they are deep in thought. What do you think they are thinking about? Why do you think the artist chose to make this work so colourful? When speaking about the work, Collins commented, "I was thinking about the tyranny of recent representations of Serbs. The way photojournalism has cornered the market like a bully. I wanted to create an intimate situation, for when else do we see someone lying down? Because intimacy was one of those values denied by reportage. Ambivalence, tenderness, accusations, invitations. I wanted you to fall in love with them." The artist first visited Belgrade in 1999. Upon his arrival, he was struck by an air of betrayal in the wake of high expectations created by the recent establishment of democracy. The young Serbs he photographed were friends who he felt were representative of a large number of the population dealing with this sense of disillusionment, of life having passed them by. They had lived with a history of disrupted education and the threat of military service still lingering, and they felt there was little hope for success in their future. After learning more, how do you feel about the artwork now? Has anything changed? Just before his visit to Belgrade, in 1998, Phil Collins moved to Belfast, Northern Ireland, to complete his master's degree in Fine Arts at the College of Art and Design, part of the University of Ulster. One of his tutors there was Willie Doherty, a well-known Northern Irish artist. During this time, Collins became an active member of the artist-run collective Catalyst Arts. Before finishing up, I would like to invite you to discuss this work further with someone who may be watching with you, be that in person or over the phone. I'd like to thank you for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the experience and that you'll check out other videos in IMMA's Slow Looking series.